Hello, YouTube land.
Hi,
I'm here with my buddy Andrew Shaw,
that's me.
also known as Andy Shaw,
Some people call me Andy.
also known as Sneaky Shaw. Sneaky
Fewer
Andrew
people
Shaw.
call me that, but I have been known to be sneaky and called sneaky.
Yes. Kind of like that guy in what's that Adam Sandler movie where he's like wins a
Very,
bunch
very
of money?
sneaky, Mr. Deeds.
Yes.
Very, very sneaky. That's me.
What's that guy's name? He's the Jesus in The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, he is the Jesus. Oh man, what is his name? The butler.
Yeah, he's the butler.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I want to say it's like Javier or like
It's probably some Latino
some
name.
like racist Spanish name. I'm sure.
Racist. Yeah. But yes, Andy is a member of Condor and Hard Traveling
That's also, both those things are true.
and Icy Happiness,
And I See Happiness.
which hasn't played a show in a while.
No, not since we played at Latitude.
A while ago. I think I was at that show.
Yeah, it was kind of a one-off weird thing. Connor couldn't be there, so yeah. But Corey's my friend. We've been playing guitar for a long time, haven't we, Corey?
We have.
Long time.
Tonight and
and in life.
in life. Yes.
In life.
Yes.
It's been a long, strange trip.
Yeah, I met you because your mom would take you to the same church that my parents took us to.
Yep. Gosh, first time probably youth group? No, it had to be probably in church, huh?
Well, church and youth group are kind of went hand in hand.
Yeah.
Oh, youth group I
Sure.
guess didn't start till middle school, but
Yeah. See, I got into it after I was of age to go to like the classrooms during church,
okay.
Promised Land.
Yes. Promised Land.
But you went to Promised Land.
Yeah, I went to Promised Land too.
I didn't.
You
I
did?
got in after.
Okay.
So I was like 14 when I first started going there.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and then
But I did teach Promised Land.
and you played a fish song at Camp Judson.
I
You
did.
played Waste.
I did. So it made you fall in love with me?
Yeah. Well, I remember. See, the big part of the reason why I started playing guitar in the first place is because I had this black guitar with like gold doves on it
Yeah.
at my parents' house.
The Eagle? What was it?
I don't think it had a brand because it was like one of those. It was like one of those that's so like.
It was like painted, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was painted black, but then on the headstock, I don't know if that was painted also or if that just because there's I've seen some guitars at the pawn shop where it's just like no brand whatsoever. It's just
Yeah. Just
But,
it's Acme guitar.
Yeah, but I had trouble like I got it for Christmas or something because I had wanted to play guitar, and I mean just being honest, when I got it, I was like, oh, it's not exactly what I had in mind, but
Yeah.
like my parents were probably like a lot of parents. Well, who knows if he's gonna stick with it? So let's give him something that's not that great.
Let's get him something that sucks really bad to play, so
Yeah.
he doesn't play it.
Something that's not expensive. Which on one hand I can understand, but you got to spend a little bit of money for the instrument to be semi-enjoyable to learn on.
It's the same with bikes.
Same
People
with
don't
bikes.
realize that with bikes, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause they buy a cheap bike and then they hate it because it sucks, and then they don't want to bike anymore.
Right.
And then, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
But
But
anyways, like he was able to somewhat ear tune it enough to where a G was almost a G. Pretty close, damn near. It fooled me. I mean, you know. And you played a song on it, like an entire song from beginning to end, and that kind of was like, holy shit, maybe.
it's not the guitar.
That's part of it. But and then so that kind of like.
I remember I came over. I think I just like basically almost tuned your guitar.
Yeah.
Like, and played that song. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we probably hung out, or it was at some, like we were just in passing at your
Yeah.
house or something like that. But yeah, I definitely remember that. I swear it had like an eagle, like a gold
It had-
falcon or
right-
something.
right
on
here
the
it had-
headstock.
Maybe
Or a
it did.
bird. It had a bird or something.
There's
on
like
it.
golden birds like glued onto
See,
it.
that's
Clearly
what I
glued
remember.
onto it. Maybe there was one on the headstock too.
There might have been, dude, because I remember that for sure. I remember that
I
guitar.
don't think
That was just horrible, dude.
it was a bad guitar.
It was like if some, those first act ones,
Yeah.
like in Walmart, but
Yeah.
like a worse one.
Yeah. But I mean, it was you tuning it and then playing a song on it was just enough to be like, All right, so guitar isn't like this impossible feat. Granted, you'd already been playing. If you were 14, let's say you were 14, you'd been playing for a while already.
3.5, yeah.
Which, you know, and when you're that young, you can kind of soak up a lot quick.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, soon after that, I'd watch you play with your dad's band, Watermelon Days.
Oh yeah, Watermelon Days, man.
And you had that electric.
Yep, I played electric pretty much exclusively for. I mean, my first guitar was first guitar that my dad and I learned on was acoustic. And then he bought me an electric guitar, and that was my first actual my guitar.
Yeah.
It was a red, like knockoff Epiphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you eventually got that,
and then
that
I
white.
Worked all summer
Strat.
long for Eric Miller, landscaping,
Okay.
and he just gave me the guitar for that
For the work.
that summer of work.
Nice.
That sucked, but it was worth it.
Yeah. That was a nice guitar.
It was a great guitar. I was actually gonna sell it to a pawn shop, but my dad bought it from me instead, so he still has it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I want to get it out someday.
From your dad's pawn shop?
Yeah. From First Bob and Exchange.
Pawn,
Yeah.
or Shaw's Pawn and Co.
Shot. Yeah. BS Pawn. Bob Shaw Pawn. BS Pawn. Yeah, and then I played electric exclusively in Watermelon Days and Voices of the Forest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I haven't played an electric guitar in a long ass time.
I think, you know, there's nothing wrong with cross-pollinating your...
No.
But I totally understand. Like, right now I only have an acoustic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously that's all I play. But
Yeah. And I mean, I've played a couple of electric guitars with some other people too. And it's actually, when you've been playing this for so long, it's like difficult
It
to
is.
play an electric guitar because it's
they're
just
sensitive.
like, you feel like you're not grabbing anything, you know, like
Yeah.
you're not digging in, and it's so easy.
Yeah.
But then it's hard too because then you're like overcompensating and like,
Mhm.
missing notes and shit because you're trying to slide and the frets are all smooth and like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
So.
to me it seems like more sensitive. Obviously, I mean you're plugged in always usually too, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's different. Like if all you've been doing is playing acoustic.
Well, yeah. Conversely,
Yeah.
the word there.
Yeah.
When I first played like an electric or acoustic guitar, like after I've been playing electric
Yeah.
too, I was like the same thing. I was like, oh my god, this sucks.
There's a learning curve. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's probably better to play a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But
You know, and then eventually you can get so rich to where when you're playing a gig, you can change a guitar for every single song you play.
yeah, dude, I can't wait for those days. Can't wait for that.
Although, if Condor's going 20 years running and you're rich, then you'll just be handed acoustic guitar after acoustic
Right.
guitar.
So
after
the thing
acoustic guitar.
is getting it handed to you. That's
Yes.
when you know you
Yes.
have good money.
Yeah.
Having them all up there and grabbing them yourself, that's one thing.
That's amateur hour.
That's fucking Pee Wee Herman money. That's Mickey Mouse Club shit. Fucking, when you get them handed to you, that's Huey Lewis in the news money. That's when you're getting into the big stuff.
Speaking of Huey, he's the one that was he wrote the original that Fish covers Sneakin' Sally, right?
Yeah.
I love it when Fish covers that.
I know.
They really funkify it. I mean, Huey does too, but
Right. But it's just a different feel.
yeah.
We had an ongoing joke on our hard traveling tour out to the hills that was Huey Lewis money. We need to start making that Huey Lewis money. We can have like a sex curtain.
Or how about some Peter Gabriel money?
Well, yeah. I mean, you could go there, Corey, but it was funny for the joke.
Yes.
Saying Huey Lewis.
Yes,
But yes,
yes.
I mean, you could go with like Bill Gates money if you wanted to.
No, that's just obscene.
That's even on another
That's
level too
unfathomable.
far. Yeah.
So, on a different side note, now that we've introduced
Transgressed
Yes.
all this stuff.
Andy and you know, well, the guitar was, I mean, if he just had a guitar throughout this whole video and we didn't talk about us getting to know each other and the guitar and music in general. Anyways, got another question for you.
Is this like a side node?
How many sides to this note, man?
I don't know. Infinite.
Is it hexagonal?
Is it a sphere? Infinite sides? Or one side?
It's two questions. But the first question is,
This is getting
do you believe, or are you of the belief that
Same thing as do you believe?
other life forms exist in the universe?
Like other than myself?
Like
Or other than on this planet?
Like besides this planet, and I'm
Okay.
talking specifically like
Because you're another life form.
Right,
I believe
right,
they
right.
exist.
right, we don't need to go
Corey,
into those semantics.
You were so specific. I'm gonna get specific, okay?
And I'm gonna let's see here. Basically, not like the typical alien, but like somebody
Sure.
has like do you think there's another planet somewhere out in the universe where there's life forms that are similar to us in that they communicate and, you know, kind of have a level of a technology similar to ours?
100%. Absolutely.
How often do you think about that?
Honestly, not a lot. I don't think really, but I mean, it's gotta be, dude. So much wasted space.
There is it. Well, you know, it's not like
It's
there's
not
a wall
there,
at the end
dude.
of the universe. You know.
Well, I know. No, I mean it's expanding. You know, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, there's, dude, has to be, can't be.
Yeah.
That's like, if we were the only life forms in the universe, that would be like the most astronomical statistic ever.
It would be.
Like, there's gotta be, dude.
And then I've heard of some people on podcasts or videos on YouTube talk about like the multiverse theory. Like there's this universe, and then there's then there's other universes.
100%.
Which to me, it kind of, I feel like the word universe just means all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then if there's like this multiverse, then there's this universe. But they've all got to be like connected. So why wouldn't it just all be the universe? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know what you mean by saying that. Yes, but to answer your question, yes, I do believe they're in a multiverse. It's been described to me as like we're in a bathtub full of bubbles. Each bubble is a universe, you know. But then, I mean, this comes into one of the headiest things that I've thought about, and what takes me to the far reaches of my mind and sanity sometimes is thinking about, you have infinite largeness and infinite smallness. And like,
As above,
you take
also
one
below.
hair off of my leg, you cut it in half, 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 and you know, you get down to the atoms, but that's made of something.
Right.
And then that's made of something. So maybe that's the same as thinking of it as infinite largeness.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a universe inside of one of my leg hairs, you know, like on an electron cloud, on like, you know.
Yeah. Have you heard that saying, as above, also below?
No, I don't think
It's
I did
just-
that specifically.
Just kind of basically like there's kind of like how like the macro is essentially the same as the micro.
Right.
So as like, so you know, it kind of like atoms kind of prove that, or like a molecule kind of proves that.
What are atoms made of, dude?
And that's another thing.
What are those things made of that make up atoms? How small can you divide it
Right.
before it's nothing? You can't. It's infinite. Just like could be infinitely large out there, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
what is it? Like, are we in something?
And that's another thing too. Like there's this
know?
Hubble picture of like the universe as far as Hubble is concerned.
I've seen that.
And then they put it side by side by like the brain, and like how you know how like in your brain you have like nodes and synapses,
Oh yeah.
and it looks very eerily similar.
Yeah.
It's like a brain, like, and I'm not sure what kind of image it is.
Like scans.
I guess,
like,
yeah, like a scan.
Like, colored scans.
Yeah.
Like activity, brain.
That kind of
activity.
shows like the neural pathways and
Yeah, man.
you know, it's like eerily similar to like the layout of what the Hubble has reached so far. Like on a square this big, and your brain's over here.
Yeah.
It looks like like the neural pathways look like what's going on in the universe over. I don't know.
I saw that leading off that story, I saw this video where they took the Hubble telescope and found this part of space that had the least amount of light coming through it. So like no stars, nothing that they had discovered yet. And they took it and they focused in that spot and zoomed in as far as they could and let it sit in that spot for like 12 days or something like that to capture all the light that came in. And then they posted that, and it's actually like the caption was like the most important picture that's ever been taken in history. And it's like basically all it is like when you're looking at a normal picture of space. So they like took the normal views of space that we see of all the different galaxies and everything like that, and then took the spot that they couldn't see shit and zoomed in really close on that, and it looks just the same as if you're looking at that picture. So it's like, fuck, man, like, you know, it's sometimes scary to think about, but then you're like, what can you do about it? Like, you know, I mean, it's interesting to talk about, you know, and
I think it is adds perspective to one's life. Like you got your shit going on, like, oh, I gotta go to work and I've got to deal with this, or oh, I've got this going on over here and this. But then if you just kind of like take a giant step back and if you picture yourself out on like some random star or planet, and then just kind of like transpose your mind and just kind of look at you back here on Earth with your problem. And then just I don't know, it just kind of puts everything into perspective a little bit.
You know, it would really suck, like if we finally did find some life forms or whatever, and we went to visit them, and it was like the same shit, like some dude like with a bunch of debt and just like grumpy and sad. It's the only life forms we find are like literally the same people as us.
Or you know, I've heard comedians talk about like, oh, there's definitely aliens and they've zoomed by and it's all true, you know, that we've seen actual UFOs, and then they realize, oh, don't want to mess with that pool of stupid. I'm gonna go back to my planet because they've got a long ways to go. You know, like they've got it all figured out.
George Carlin said something really cool too, and I always say this when I'm talking about like space or like, you know, time or anything like that. And if you even shrink it down a little bit and look at Earth's time, you know, like the history of the Earth and everything, you know, our existence is like a blink of an eye, you know. And I think that the Earth is gonna fucking dominate and like he says, shake us off like a bad case of the fleas.
Dude, like if
just
we've already
gonna be like, you're done, dude.
Well, that and like we already have like a very thin and holes in the ozone layer. And that's already spelling disaster in places. And you know, like if you don't, like if you're like if somebody with our skin went to the equator, the desert, and say we were just left to where we couldn't find shade, we didn't have adequate like clothing to like block us from something, we'd be fucked.
Done.
You know, and like, I mean, and especially if you're exposed to just like if you're in like the equator where like the sun's got most of its, you know, like you know how there's in Alaska, like they've got like months where they just don't see sun. Well, like on the equator, it's like you always have the most sun throughout the whole year. And so you'd just be screwed. But
and even on a bigger scale than ozone, the magnetic field is getting depleted too. And that's what protects us from like fucking solar bursts and shit, like gamma rays. And that shit. And that's getting depleted, and that's why there have been like more and more northern lights, because you know what northern lights are is some of that energy getting down into some of the lower layers that make the light. That's been happening a lot more, like kind of like global warming, you know, it's kind of on the same like trajectory or, you know, graph. And so I mean that's even worse like than the ozone, because that's like you like fry yourself, you know, gamma rays and shit, dude.
Well, and then because that's basically just like radiation,
Right,
for the most
right,
part,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And if you look at like what happened at Chernobyl,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've
It's like putting
done
yourself
any
in a microwave, dude.
I watched a documentary on Chernobyl, and it's really crazy because like the people that were involved in, like the soldiers that were involved in trying to like keep the damage at a minimum, you know, like they've had health problems. A lot of them are dead.
Oh yeah.
And then
Like
then there's some
Hiroshima,
people
same
that were
thing.
like on the roof of this building trying to get like these super radioactive chunks off the roof. And like they tried to get robots to do it first, but the radiation was so high that the robots would malfunction. And so they sent people up there.
Of course.
And like they've got like a taste in their mouth that they've never gotten rid of because they were involved and they could only be on the roof for like 30 seconds to a minute at a time, and then they had to go all the way back down and get as far away, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy, but
There's a place in South Dakota where that is an
Pathfinder?
old... What?
It's called Pathfinder, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an old uranium mine or whatever.
Well, they were gonna like
plutonium.
they were gonna get like some nuclear power there, I think, and then they just quickly got shut down for some reason.
I think this is something different. There's actually a place out in the hills.
Okay.
Or it's kind of more in the Badlands area actually, and it's like really high in uranium and plutonium, or I can't remember what it is. Whatever they mine to make nuclear bombs and shit, and they used it back when they were making nukes still, and it's out by like Oklahoma or no, not Oklahoma. That's by the river. It's like southwestern South Dakota. And I read it in one of my dad's South Dakota magazines.
Okay.
And it's like quarantined off, dude. Like Area 51 style, dude. Like fucking barbed wire fences around the whole property. And my parents went out there a couple of years ago and were just exploring, and they wanted to try to find it because they read about it.
Right.
And so they stopped in this town that was close by, and they're like, do they let people go down there or what? And he's like, oh yeah, you can go down there, but the guy might shoot you, like the guy that owns the land. He's like, he's shot at people before.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's an old like uranium thing, and it's still radioactive today.
Yeah.
That's why